Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Brian James and this is DB Automotive. Okay, so it's been a while since I've last posted up anything, but down here in New Zealand we're coming into winter. All the dairy companies are shut down, the dairy herds are dried off, and that means that my company that I work for is extremely busy doing winter shut work on the dairy factories. So there's going to be weeks where I'm away completely from home, working, doing rekitting of valves, pumps, load pumps, vane pumps, and so on. So you'll have to bear with us. The postings are going to be sporadic. That being said, I have finally got the paint in for the roof. First of all, if you've been following the channel, you know that it's dedicated to the rebuilding of older vehicles. So reuse, rebuild, renew, restore. That's basically my philosophy. So I would rather have something older, do it up that fits my purpose, than buy something brand new. And with that being said, last year's project was a Clubman style car, a Lotus 7-esque sort of car. It was a Chevron. You can go back through my previous videos and you'll see what I'm doing. Well, that's almost finished. I'm just waiting on a couple of more things and we'll be up and running with that. So now my focus is on my Bedford bus. It's a 1963 SB3 Bedford bus. A friend of mine used to have it. Tragically, he passed away. I've brought it off the estate with the view of doing it up basically as a tribute to Daryl. So it had been sitting in a field for 4 years. So we've pulled it out and it kind of looks all nice on there, but that's because we've cut and polished it. Okay, so while we're getting on to cutting and polishing, you would have seen in previous videos that I have put up. It's taken me a month to give it a cut and a polish, but it's come up really well. Nice, shiny, actually really good. That's no thanks at all to, and I'm going to name and shame this company because this polish cost me a bit of money, and you may or may not know this, but my channel isn't subsidized. I don't get money from revenue on advertising or sponsorship. It's all out of my back pocket, as would be for most people out there doing their own vehicle. So every dollar counts. For me, it means that I have to save that dollar to get it before I can spend it on the bus. And there's lots of things such as rates and so on that want to take that dollar out of my pocket. So I have to be really careful with how I spend my money. At a car show recently, I approached Bowden. Now, I appreciate what Bowden does with classic cars, classic race cars in Australia. They buy them up and they restore them back to originality, and they make an amazing job of it. I showed their salesman what I was doing, the condition of the paint on the bus, and what I wanted to do. And he recommended me the paint cleanse and restore and the Canubra body wax. Right, spent the money. This stuff is junk. Do not, and I'll just put it up there so you can see it. That one and that one. Don't buy it. It's rubbish. So I went back to good old Mothers. This stuff, it's a good quality name and it's done an amazing job. I'll keep on using it. It is expensive, but it's worth every cent. Right, get down here. That's my grizzle out of the way. I don't normally like doing the name and shame thing, but I was so disappointed with how poorly that stuff performed. I thought I had to warn everyone in the sense that please don't buy any of their product. Okay, that being said, maybe some of their other product is good, but I did ask their rep who was an expert, and that's what he recommended. So if there is other stuff that's out there that's better and they didn't recommend it, the fault lies with them. Now, one of the biggest resources that I have and that you have is not only YouTube, yay YouTube, but it's also internet chat rooms, message boards, and social media platforms. So I reached out to some of those social media platforms, sorry, and I asked a really simple question. What's a really good paint for my roof that will seal it? And I put a proviso in there that cost was a factor. Now, the things that came back was like house paint and things like that. Okay, I didn't want to go down that route. It's too much like throwback to the 60s, where you got in with a big coarse bristle brush, gave it a bit of a wipe over, and that was all good. I actually want it to look a lot better than that. So one of the members of the social media platform got back to me, and he reckoned this Uracryl, Resine's Uracryl, which is a urethane acrylic, is the business. Now, it comes in a 4-litre can with 1 litre of hardener. So it's a 2-pot mix. And all up, it cost me $224 from Resine's. Again, that's with no special discount. That's just Joe Average going in there. Now, he showed me pictures of what his bus looked like after he did it. Now, he reckons that basically 5 litres will do the roof. Guess we're going to find out. I ordered it in Dover White. Again, I'll just show you that. Dover White. Now, for those out there that know the New Zealand Railways buses and the original colour scheme, which I don't think there are too many, but there are a few, Dover White was the original colour scheme along with Laurel Green. And they were painted up, and they looked absolutely amazing. That is the plan for this bus, is to take it right back on the outside to its original paint scheme when it was running, I guess, passengers. So as far as we can tell, this was an intercity bus, and so it ran passengers, let's say, from Auckland to Wellington or Auckland to Hamilton. And so it worked for the New Zealand Railways. And so it was New Zealand Railways Road Service, so NZRRS. And the colour scheme they had for those buses, which was Dover White and Laurel Green, was absolutely amazing. And that's what I want to recreate. Eventually, we're going to have... so what I'm thinking of is the way these windows are, getting another window. And if anyone out there can help me with that, please get in contact with me. I want to mount it on a board, make a fiberglass mould of it, so then I can make that, so then I can put them here, here, and there, so it looks like it's got the windows all along instead of the cutouts. And that will go back to making it look originally like it was a road services bus that operated on the road. Oh, I guess over 60 years ago, or close to 60 years ago. So that's going to be an interesting side project. There's going to be lots of little side projects. So what's in the future for the bus? Quite simply, I've got to paint the roof, like scrub it right back, say simple green or 30 seconds wet and forget or something. Scrub all the moss off it, all the mould. We're going to urethane it, paint it, Then the next thing on the list will be getting a couple of truck batteries. I got 2 big truck batteries that came with the vehicle. One's got a hole in it. It doesn't hold battery acid, so I guess it just doesn't hold power anymore. And the other one seems to be good. It tests up well. We put a multimeter across it. It tests up at like 12.7, 12.8 volts. So we will see how it goes under load. And so therefore I need another one so we can start it. Once we know that the bus is going, so up until that moment, once I seal the roof, and until I get the bus actually going, as far as I'm concerned, it's a static exhibit. It doesn't go. So if the motor doesn't go, then there's no point in me getting the brakes set up and going. All I'll do is start moving on to the interior, and I'll make it into a spare room that we can use. If the motor goes and the gearbox is good, which I do believe they both are very good, then I can work on the brakes. Once we get the brakes up and running, I can check the chassis, kingpins, all the grease zerks, go through underneath it with the view of getting it passed for its certification and getting it back on the road. Once it's back on the road and it's a working bus on the road, then I can start in on the interior. Then we can start getting it. Now this is going to be a long project and it's going to take a lot of time, and I'm assuming it's going to take a lot of money. So these videos may be sporadic. I'm going to try my best to do them as much as I can, but once we get the Chevron on the road, I can supplement the videos for the channel with car shows and runs and things using the Chevron. And don't worry, once I've got the bus sorted, I do have another project waiting in the wings. Yeah, I know, I've got quite a lot. So anyway, that's my gripe. That's the future plans. That's the bus not looking too bad now it's been cut and polished. I have to admit, I do like it. Oh, the other thing I have been doing, now this is something that if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, you need to be thinking about, and that is bird proofing your bus. So I got up on the roof, and the vent that's up on the roof, I popped it open, and the wire mesh that was on there, the birds had managed to rip it out and get through it. So I replaced that mesh with something a lot stronger, stainless steel. It's a tighter mesh. The bus can still breathe, but the birds are not going to be able to get in. Now I have noticed they've got in behind here as well, so I'm going to have to pop this off and put some mesh behind there. So don't forget, if you've got a bus out in the open coming into winter, by all means, and I urge you to check all the little areas that birds can get into and make nests. That would include exhaust pipes and things like that, and make sure that they cannot do it. Okay, thank you very much for taking the time to watch. If you like what you see, if you like what you hear, please hit like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, once again, don't be afraid to ask. I love reading them and I love answering them. So you guys have a great day. Thank you very much for taking your time. Okay, bye.